Let's start this conversation with a complete reality check. I'm gonna break character right away and tell you this. If you look at my ID, I'm not even 18 years old yet. By law, I'm technically still a kid. I don't have a decade of adult experience. I haven't bought a house. I'm still figuring out my own path every single day. But over these last couple of years, I've spent a lot of time talking to older adults, reading, observing, and realizing something very critical. Age has absolutely nothing to do with being a man. We live in a society that tells you the second you turn 18, or the second your brain finishes developing at 25, or the second you grow a beard, you're officially a man. But that's a complete lie. I've seen guys who are 30, 35, or 40 years old who act still like absolute children. They cannot control their temper, they run away from their responsibilities, they blame everyone else for their problems, and they live completely selfish lives. You cannot look at them and call them a man. On the other side, I've met guys who are 16 or 17 years old who carry themselves with so much self-respect, take care of their families, work hard, and treat others with genuine kindness. They are more of a man than any 30-year-old child will ever be. Being a man is not a milestone or a calendar. It's a psychological state of mind. It's defined entirely how you act, how you present yourself, and how you treat people around you. So even though I'm young, I want you to hear me out on this, because we need to redefine what we actually call a man. If you go online right now and search for what it means to be a masculine man, you're going to get flooded with absolute garbage. There is an entire side of the internet, influencers, red pill TikTokers, or lifestyle gurus who want you to believe that masculinity is a performance. They tell you to be a real man, you have to drive a $2 million sports car, smoke cigarettes on a sailboat, chop down trees with your bare hands, and look like a cold, angry robot 24 hours of the day. They make it seem like your value as a man is measured entirely about how good you are at showing off your money or signaling to women that you're desirable. But this is all a huge lie. It's a giant show designed to make you feel insecure so you buy their courses or follow their accounts. True masculinity has absolutely nothing to do with your superficial hobbies. It doesn't matter if you watch anime or do boxing. It doesn't matter if you play board games or go hunting. It doesn't matter what kind of clothes you wear or what car you drive. When you strip away all the online noise, being a proper man is about your character when nobody's watching. It's about authenticity, responsibility, and compassion. It's about taking your unique strengths and your unique weaknesses and using them to leave the world a little bit better than you found it. To understand how a real man operates, we have to talk about the two types of energies that exist in every single human being. You can call them masculine and feminine, or you can just call them energy 1 and energy 2, if you don't like that traditional label. Ancient Eastern psychology calls it the yin and yang. Energy 1 is all about structure, logic, and aggressive action. Energy 2 is about intuition, creativity, and nourishing qualities. The fake version of masculinity online tells you that you must completely kill energy 2. They tell you that men don't cry, men don't show feelings, and men are supposed to be completely emotionless creatures who never let their guard down. But that's complete nonsense, and it's incredibly damaging. A real man is allowed to cry. A real man feels deep sadness, deep fear, and deep hurt just like anyone else. Pretending you don't feel these things doesn't make you tough. It just makes you a ticking time bomb. When you box your feelings up in a dark corner of your mind and put on a fake, angry face to look strong, those emotions will eventually boil over into toxic anger and ruin your life. Real mental strength isn't about hiding your emotions, it's about acknowledging them, expressing them honestly when you need to, but refusing to let them dictate your choices. You control your emotions don't control you. You need a balance of both energies to be complete. You need the logic to build your life, but you need the empathy to care about the people inside it. The absolute biggest shift that happens when you transition from a boy to a man is moving from a life of selfishness to a life of service. A boy asks, "What can the world do for me? How can I get more attention, more fun, and more comfort?" A man asks, "What can I do for people around me? How can I use my strength to protect and provide?" Let's use a simple metaphor. Imagine a young family of 4. You have a mom, a dad, and 2 toddlers. Let's say the dad is 25 years old. Physically, he is the most capable person in the house. Financially, he carries the weight of providing the income. If an intruder breaks into that house in the middle of the night, he is the one who's going to stand between the danger and his family. Because he's the most capable, he has to completely put his own comfort second. He can't say, "I'm tired, I don't feel like working today," or "I'm scared, I'm gonna hide under the bed." He understands that he can manage his own pain, his own fear, and his own exhaustion because he is strong enough to handle it. The people around him, though, his wife and kids, they need his help. That is what a real man does. You develop your mind, your finances, and your body not to show off, but you can become a pillar for the people who aren't as capable as you. You become someone that people can lean onto when the world gets heavy. You put others in front of your own immediate desires because you know you're strong enough to handle your own weight. The reason so many young guys between 15 and 30 feel completely lost and directionless today is because they don't have a vision. They're just wandering through life, going through the motions, reacting to whatever pops up on their phones. One day you see a video about a guy making millions on crypto, so you want to do that. The next day you see a video of a guy living a simple life in a cabin in the woods, so now you want to do that. The next day you want to be a streamer. You're constantly getting pulled into 1,000 different directions because you have zero internal clarity. A real vision requires you to sit down with a journal or a blank document and answer some honest questions. Who do you actually want to be in 5 or 10 years? What kind of value do you want to bring to your community? If you had all the money in the world, how would you spend your time helping others? You won't figure this out in one sitting. It takes time. Even I am still working on fully defining my master vision, but simply starting the process of asking these questions gives you a compass. It gives you a reason to say no to cheap distractions and yes to your future. Now, you cannot build a vision for your future self if you stay locked in your bedroom staring at a screen all day. You have to get into the real world and collect data. In other words, you need real life experience. It is very easy to look at a lifestyle online and assume you want it, but until you actually try things, you have no idea what fits your soul. For example, a lot of people think they want the high energy, fast-paced life of a big city because it looks exciting in movies or short videos. But it's very common for someone to move into a major city and realize the constant noise drives them crazy. The crowds are exhausting and they have zero room to breathe or think clearly. They realize that what they actually want is a quiet piece of land on the countryside with a garden and some space to watch the sunrise. You can't just read a book to figure these things out. You have to live it. Say yes to opportunities that make you a little uncomfortable. Join new groups, try different hobbies, work different jobs, and talk to people who have completely different perspectives than you. Do not close off conversations just because they challenge your current way of thinking. Every single experience, whether you love it or hate it, is a valuable piece of data that helps you build your ultimate blueprints as a man. We live in a world that is completely obsessed with instant gratification. You can get food delivered to your door in 30 minutes. You can swipe on an app to find a date instantly, and you can get a dopamine hit from a video in 2 seconds. Because of this, young men expect their success, their confidence, and their purpose to happen overnight. When it doesn't happen in a few weeks, they get frustrated and give up. But you have to realize that absolutely everything of true value in this life requires consistent effort over a long period of time. A great relationship that lasts a lifetime takes years of working through hardship together. A stable, profitable business takes years of mental stress and sleepless nights. Building true mental awareness and conquering anxiety takes months of daily practice. Think about it like building a railroad track. Imagine you have a long line of railroad ties. If you walk down the line and hit every single tie with a hammer just once, you'll move very fast, but you will make zero actual progress. None of the spikes are driven into the ground, and a train will crash if it tries to run on those tracks. But if you stand over one single tie and you hit it over and over and over again until it's completely locked in place before moving to the next one, you'll move down the line much slower. But you're actually building a functional track. So stop trying to do everything at once. Pick your core goals, put your head down, and focus on the daily, boring, consistent work. Great things take years. Be patient with your progress. As you grow into a proper man, you have to accept a harsh reality. Everything in life has a trade-off. You cannot have it all, and anyone who tells you that you can is lying to you. Every single choice you make requires you to sacrifice something else. If you choose to work 8 hours a week to build a massive career, you're trading away your sleep, your hobbies, and your personal relationships. If you choose to commit to one incredible girl, you're trading away the option to date anyone else. If you spend your weekends partying, you're trading away the energy you could have used to build your health or your business. Your physical, mental, and spiritual health must come first. Because if you break yourself down until you're completely bedridden or mentally destroyed, you cannot fulfill your mission to provide and protect for anyone else. To tie this all together, you need 2 final traits: respect and tenacity. We live in a highly toxic, individualistic culture where people have zero respect for authority or older generations. You see people being intentionally rude to elder people, destroying public property, and tearing others down just to make their own egos feel bigger for a second. A real man shows respect to everyone by default, unless they give them a concrete reason not to. It makes the world infinitely easier to navigate. Lastly, you need tenacity, because life is easy right now in terms of survival. A lot of guys have zero willpower. The second things get difficult, boring, or painful, they quit. True masculinity is the ability to endure. It's the grit to keep showing up for your family, your goals, and your values even when you feel completely drained. So stop waiting for a specific age to turn into a man. Step up, take responsibility for your life right now, and start running your own race.